Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Barbeno's World. I feel like recently I've definitely been moving up to the big leagues in terms of farms that I've been building. And yeah, take for example this massive self-sustaining nether tree farm that I built in the last episode. You can see in these chests, they're absolutely filled with resources from the farms, and I probably have almost 100,000 stems in here and a bunch of shroom lights. There's only a few farms at this point that I don't have or I don't have fast enough versions of, and one of those is a wither skeleton farm. That's definitely one of the more overpowered farms in Minecraft. It gives you wither skulls for beacons, as well as coal and bones, which are useful for fuel and growing stuff. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today, building a wither skeleton farm, and I've actually designed a completely new farm, and I think it's really good. Alright, so this is the farm that I've designed. It's actually quite complicated and it has a lot of different elements to it. So before we build it, I'm just going to explain part of it. And this area that we're looking at right here is the spawning platform. I cleared out a big area of the nether, but that's not necessary. It's just so I could work better. And this is the bounding box of another fortress. As you can see, the farm is built at two nether fortress intersections, which are big areas where the hitbox extends out. And we also have 3 spawning floors because the hitbox extends quite a ways down. I've seen a lot of wither skeleton farms in my day, and a lot of them use a bunch of different mechanics, and I wanted to make use of a lot of those different mechanics and combine them into a farm that is most useful for my scenario. And I think I've gotten a pretty good farm. Now on each of these spawning floors, we have a big area of coarse dirt and wither roses, and that's actually where the wither skeletons are going to spawn. Wither roses are there because no other mobs can spawn because they would just take damage. To get all of the wither skeletons off the platform, we have some iron golems in the middle that are going to lure all of the mobs in because they can just barely see them over those repeaters, and they'll actually get lured into a nether portal. So yeah, we just have that 3 times, and that's about it for the spawning floors. One thing I can also point out is these patches of nether brick with buttons on them. Those are just non-spawnable areas that I put there because if a wither skeleton were to spawn here, then it wouldn't actually be able to see the iron golem because it's behind the obsidian. So I just blocked off the spaces, but I still left them as blocks so that you can walk over them if you want. Also, as you can see, there is some inconsistency between the platforms. Like this top platform has the stairs going up extra high, the bottom platform is shorter, this one's extra short. And that was actually necessary because the 3 high gaps make it pretty tricky for wither skeletons to actually fit through. So I needed to move some stuff around to make it fit, but eventually I did. Here's what we have on the overworld side. All of the wither skeletons will end up in this portal over here that's a little bit lower. And they end up getting pushed through, just pushing each other, and then they get spat out into this portal. A couple things to note are I put some wither roses here to kill any pigmen or blazes that end up here. And yeah, there's also waterlogged slabs that push the wither skeletons up a block, and they end up going through the portal. It only works though when there's a constant stream of them coming through. As they go through, they end up at the top of the farm. Right now I've just got a bot swinging at the skeletons. And yeah, all of the wither skeletons end up coming out of this portal and getting killed by the player, which is right here. And I also did this very clever storage and sorting system below here, because this farm actually runs at about 37k items per hour. Which is pretty good, about 400 wither skulls per hour. And all of the items get stacked together in the cobwebs and sent down onto this item system. Now if I slow down the game, you can see it a little bit better. We have the items falling down here and a little bit of redstone that controls these pushers. that basically end up aligning them against the ender chest and then pushing them across all of the hoppers. And from there we can just filter everything out into the chests at the bottom. So yeah, this farm is going to be pretty complex, but hopefully we can get it done in this episode. And if you want to build this farm, I'll try to leave a schematic in the description for it. But you might also want to follow along with my video to see how I do it. Oh, but I guess that worked. Kind of a bad bedrock breaking method, but sure. Okay, so I came over here to that nether fortress that I selected, the same one that I planned out in the creative world. And this should be the spot. We should have an area with 2 intersections right around here. It could be this one. Okay, so upon some closer inspection, there are actually a few areas where we have double intersections, but just to make stuff a bit easier and so that I can use the same coordinates as I did in creative, I'm going to take these 2 right here, which unfortunately is going to require me to clear out a little bit of land right around here. So yeah, let's go do that. Alright, so digging out the area here has been going quite well so far. And we've done most of the area in these 2 intersections, but I'm going to need to go up a little bit more in this entire area, and also down to the bottom of the bounding box. I'm finally done with clearing out this whole area, and it went pretty well, and hopefully we've cleared out enough that we should be able to build the bottom part of the farm. The schematic basically fills up this entire area, and it shouldn't be too hard to build, so let's go grab the resources for this. Okay, I think I've collected everything here. This should be everything for the entire farm, not just the bottom part. We'll also have enough to finish the overworld and everything like that. So I should be able to start building down here. Might be a little bit tricky to do a time lapse of this because I'm enclosed with all of this area, but I'll give it a try. Hopefully it turns out fine. Alright, so we're technically done with the farm now. There's not really much to show because you saw it all in creative. But I have actually went ahead and finished up all 3 parts of it, including the overworld and this upper part. So now that basically means all we've got to do is spawn-proof the area, which is going to be quite a doozy. And I think it's going to take me a long time. So it's not really going to work unless I completely spawn-proof any area of nether fortress that is exposed. I've got a bunch of crimson stems that I can use to make buttons, and I've got this spawning sphere that shows the area that I have to cover. And I guess I'm just going to walk around placing buttons on all of this nether brick. Okay, so that went pretty well. Didn't take me too long, and I think I've spawn-proofed this entire area. Didn't take me too many buttons either, probably at most like 5,000 to spawn-proof all of this. I may have missed a few spots, and for that reason I think I might still be limited by mob cap, and that could constrict my farm's rates a little bit, but I guess there's only one way to find out. So I'm gonna go up to the top of my farm and disable the mob switch to give this a test. Okay, actually before that I remembered one more thing that I forgot. I've actually got to link up all of the portals in the farm, because I didn't do that before. So I need to link them up and make sure they all go to the correct place. Nice. Okay, here we go. I can already tell this is working somewhat well. Checking the mob cap. We're not full yet, but it's possible that it could get filled up. Especially when they start coming through at the top. Yeah, looks like I missed a button here, but I'll sort some of those things out. Here we go, the first guys are coming through the portal. This is perfect. Just gotta kill them. Like so. Should probably fill up my inventory. Alright, I'm actually super impressed with this farm. It's working incredibly well. And, yeah, I'm just gonna spend a while farming the skulls. Once again, you've probably seen this, but I'd like to show off my sorting area here, which is working super well. I must say, all of the item aligners are working great, and everything seems to be ending up in the item filters. If I don't need it, it ends up in the fire. So yeah, this is really great. And yeah, I've been checking the mob cap a bit, and it doesn't seem like we're getting up to 70. Okay, so I've been AFK at the farm for a good 2, maybe 3 hours, and I think it's time to take a look at everything that we've got. I've actually looked at this already, and we filled up all the storage for bones and coal. That was 3 rows of 4 chests of each of them. I crafted everything up into blocks, and we've still got a ton. And as for coal, we've got this much. With the skeleton skulls in this chest, we have an absolute ton. We definitely won't need this many, and it'll actually be a pain to convert all of these into beacons if I want to do that. So yeah, it's safe to say that this farm is definitely running at the full capacity of 37,000 items per hour, and we're probably making too many items to handle. I should have installed shulker loaders in this farm, I guess, but I probably won't need too much coal, so I think I should be fine with just these chests. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Before we finish off, I guess I can convert a few of these wither skeleton skulls into beacons. Okay, now I just gotta do that 31 more times. See you when it's done. Okay, here we go. I got the 32 nether stars from killing all of the withers. Took me actually quite a while. It's probably slower to kill the withers than to get the wither skulls. But whatever, this should be enough to last me a while, and I guess that's all I wanted to do for today's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed that wither skeleton farm. As I might have mentioned already, I'll try to provide the schematics in the description. So, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.
Barbeno's world, Barbeno's world.